Hello, Markham Gardens family. Daniel Markham here. Just coming to you today to talk to you a little about some stuff that happens in the fall or when you're coming into winter time. I was out here in the garden today and I noticed that all of my peach trees, as well as all of the apricot trees, and two of my plum trees had already dropped all of their leaves. We've been getting pretty cold here. You can see right up here above, this is our oak trees. We've got red oak and white oak, and those are starting to drop their leaves as well. All the hickory have already dropped all their leaves. So we are well into the fall season, heading into winter time. And if you don't know, deciduous trees in the winter time, they go dormant. And so during that dormant season, all of their metabolism slows. They don't pull up sugars this fast, and they begin dropping their leaves, preparing to basically go to sleep for the winter. And during that winter season, while they're dormant, they're building up sugars and starches and things within their wood, and to be able to push buds and push flowers and push fruit for the next season. If they don't go dormant, you basically will not get any fruit that next season, and or if you do, it'll be very minimal. So it's definitely beneficial that all of your deciduous fruit trees definitely go dormant, and you want to make sure that they do that. But something that I noticed out here is that even though I've got the peach and the apricot and the plum, I've got a bunch of them that have gone dormant, I also have a few that haven't. And you'll find that sometimes you'll have varieties of fruit trees that just for whatever reason do not want to go dormant. They're just a little bit, I don't know what you'd call it, stubborn. Let's just say stubborn. They're a little bit stubborn to go into dormancy. And the problem with that is that if they're stubborn to go into dormancy and they delay quite a bit, they won't put on the bud set that's required, and your crop will be a lot less. So your production on your fruit will be a lot less. So today we are going to go through a project where I am going to begin stripping the leaves off of these plants that are not wanting to go dormant. Let me show you guys real quick what I'm talking about. So you guys can see right here, I've got one of our peach trees, and you can see it is fully dormant. You can see there is no leaves left on this peach tree. This is a Florida King peach, and this has fully dropped all of its leaves. And basically what's going to happen is on each one of these branches right here at this point, there will be a new bud that will grow, and it will flower on this new wood right here the next season. You can see I've got one right here. There's a bud right there. It'll begin swelling as the spring comes. But this one has gone dormant. I have got this plum right here. This one here is the Santa Rosa plum. And you can see the Santa Rosa plum has gone completely dormant. There is no leaves left on it. All the persimmon has gone dormant. I've got another plum here as well. Let's see what this one is. I always forget, guys. Methley plum. So this Methley plum has gone completely dormant, has lost all of its leaves. But you see here, there is a native Chickasaw plum that has yet to lose all of its leaves. It is still holding on. And this is a native species, so it probably is used to a little bit more cold. But today I'm going to go ahead and strip all the leaves off of this Chickasaw plum and get it prepared for winter dormancy. And hopefully we can get some pretty good production off of it this next season. Now, not all of these trees are going to be ready to produce. For instance, this Santa Rosa plum, it will produce. It won't produce very much, and I won't let it produce very much, but it will produce some. You can see Mufasa over here is just having a good old time. Mufasa and Nala playing around and wrestling. Oh, it's a beautiful one. So, and then over here you can see the Methley plum is not quite big enough. It may try to produce, but I'll pick everything off of that, and I won't let that one produce just because it doesn't quite have the energy required to produce a lot. And so if I let it produce, it'll slow down its growth rate and its root establishment. So I will go ahead and pick everything off of that this next season if it tries. But you can see over here, I've got another peach tree that is also gone dormant. This one here is the red skin peach tree. There's no leaves on that one. That one's just sitting there with nothing. And then we've got a apricot over here. Has all of its leaves have come off. It is fully dormant. And then we also have another peach tree over here that is fully dormant. And another persimmon that's gone completely dormant. There's nothing left growing on that one right now. And another, this is the early golden apricot. This one also has gone completely dormant. But let me show you our problem, children. The apples and the pears are holding on for dear life. So this is an Einsheimer apple. And it has a tendency to grow in warmer climates. Very similar in growth to like your Anna apple. Anna apple is known for being very stubborn when it comes to wintertime. It doesn't want to drop all of its leaves. But today I'm going to strip all of these leaves off of this apple and push it into dormancy. And I'll probably be doing the same thing for the pear here. This one here, let me look and we'll see what that one is. I can't remember. This is a Warren pear. And we'll go ahead and push that one into dormancy. Now this one here is a crab apple. I'm going to let it do its thing. I'm not going to strip the leaves off of the crab apple. It'll do it when it's ready. I'm not looking for high production on this one anyway. This one's just here for pollination. And so we'll let that one do what it's going to do. But we've got another pear tree here. This is the Monterey pear. And I'll go ahead and strip everything off of this one as well. And then we have the cinnamon spice apple, which took a little bit longer than the Einsheimer to get started and start growing this last season. So it doesn't have a whole lot to it, but we've got some really good, nice growth tips that have come off of it. And so it is trying. It is going to pick up speed, and I'm hoping that this next season that it will take off for us. But I'm going to go ahead and strip all the leaves off of this one as well. So if you guys run into a situation like this, understand that you're not going to hurt these trees. They're basically at the point where they're going to begin dropping these leaves anyway. And as long as your tree is not very unhealthy or has a lot of disease issues or anything like that, this is not a problem to strip the leaves off and push them basically into dormancy. It helps the process, helps them begin shutting down. And it's cold enough that they're not going to put out any new growth right now. You definitely don't want to feed your plants around this time. It's best to stop feeding your plants basically at the end of summer or beginning of fall so that you don't push them to keep growing into winter season when they should be going dormant. That's a problem. You'll also end up killing off a lot of that new growth, and it's basically wasted energy. The tree puts a whole bunch of energy into growing during a time when it shouldn't grow, and all of that new growth ends up dying off anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and start picking some of this stuff off. Let me show you guys what I do real quick, and I'll just kind of walk you through the process. Let me flip you around. So on these branches, what I end up doing is I come out here to the tip, and I'm going to do this one-handed, guys, but I'm literally just going to, and I'm going to be careful that I don't break off the buds, right? I don't want to break off the bud sites, but I am going to start snapping these leaves off. And really all you have to do is press down. It's a little bit difficult when you have just one hand, but what I would do, guys, if I had two hands on me right now, is I'd grab the top of this bud with one hand. I'd grab the rest with this hand. Actually, I can do it right now. It's already got enough on there, and then I'll just start sliding down this branch. See how that just strips that clean? So I'm just going to strip all these leaves off. Now we'll go to the next branch. Go to this branch out here. Break off several of these leaves. Now be careful, because on the ends of these, sometimes you'll have another little branch that's already started growing out right here, or on this backside. And if that is happening, if you grab this and slide down, you may break off that actual branch. And that's a new branch. And on that new wood, the next season, it will try to produce flowers. And so be careful that you don't break those off of there. But just going to slide down on here. And you can see that all of this, this right here was its original growth. And all of this came from this one season. So this is one season of growth. And so on this new wood, this new season, so this last season, this is what it grew. So it'll go dormant. The buds will swell on this wood, this new wood, and it will produce flowers and then try to fruit on this new wood. And then for the next season, it will grow out branches out of the buds, or continue growing out of this terminal bud right here on the end. And right here on the end, this is called a terminal bud. This is the end of the branch. Terminal meaning, ending the end of it. And so it will continue growing out of the top here. If you do not want, because a lot of times during the fall season, you want to go ahead and trim your trees back. You want to go ahead and structure them. And so once you get all the leaves off, if the leaves have not fallen off already, you really want to begin structuring your tree like a wine glass. You want the middle to be open here, and you want your branches to come out to the sides. You don't really want a 90-degree angle. This one right here it looks 90. It's really not. It's about close to a 45-degree angle. That's really a good angle that you want them to have, but you want them to go ahead and come out and then begin growing up like a wine glass. And so if you do have one that is continuing out here, and it continues and it goes out to the side really, really far, keep in mind that all of that fruit set, when it hits on the end of this branch, is going to be so much that it's going to begin pulling that branch down with all the weight. And if you're not careful, it will break that limb off right here at the base of this tree. And so what you can do is during the off season, during fall right here, once they've gone dormant and they've lost their leaves, you can come in here and trim off this tip, this terminal bud. And that will force this branch to put out several more branches out in different directions and begin forming more of that wine glass shape instead of hanging out here to the end like that. So just something to keep in mind whenever you guys are doing this. Now, I will be right back. I'm going to go ahead and pull all the rest of the leaves off of this, and we'll move on to the next tree. Hey guys, so before we continue on to the next tree, I want to show you guys something real quick. As I was stripping this one, remember I was telling you guys to be careful of those little branches that can possibly be new branches, and don't snap them off. If I would have slid down this tree, this branch right here, and broke all of these off and not been careful, I may have hit this tiny little branch that has just started to grow. It's got a little bud here on the end of it, and I would have snapped that right off. And so be careful, guys, as you're going down through here, that you don't damage any of those new branches that are coming out. So now I'm going to come over here to one of our pear trees. Guys, it's the same process. You're just going to go ahead and start popping these leaves off. They pop off really easily. You just need to press down, and they will pop right off. Here's some more of those. You see those new buds right there. If I wasn't careful, I would pop those new branches off. And I really want these new branches, because this next season, branches are going to grow out from here and basically fill a little bit of this area in here. I've got a really nice wine glass. You guys can see the structure on this one, how it's got, 3 different main branches, one here, and then one here. You can see it's a really nice wine glass. This is actually a perfect structure. for an orchard tree. So this one grew really, really well, but you're going to have some branches that are going to fill out, and you really want to be careful that you don't snap those off when you're doing this process. So I will be right back when I get done with this one. So I've gone ahead and got this pear tree all stripped down. You can see that it is ready for full dormancy, and it will remain this way until next spring. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'll do these other two. I'm not going to pull you guys along for this. Obviously, I've shown you guys the process. I'm pretty sure I don't need you to follow me through the next couple trees. And honestly, the video is already at about 16 minutes. So I want to keep this as short as possible. Just something to help you guys. You know, if you've ever had a tree that didn't go dormant, you may have wondered why the next season you didn't get a lot of fruit production. And a lot of times it can be with weather all over the place and going warm and then cold and then warm and then cold. Some of these trees get confused. They don't know when they're supposed to go dormant. And so when you start seeing a lot of your native trees, like you can see behind me, a lot of these trees are starting to go dormant. They're starting to turn some colors. That's usually a sign that these deciduous trees are going to start going dormant. And during that time, when you see that start happening, you can begin to help out your fruit trees by going ahead and forcing them into dormancy. Again, only do this with fruit trees that are healthy. If you've got some disease that you're fighting, or you've got a tree that's really, really struggling and has had a difficult time during the season, you really don't want to force them into dormancy to produce a whole bunch of fruit for the next season. It's best if they can hold on to those leaves, absorb the energy slowly from those leaves, and put all of that energy into healing themselves and building up to be healthy for the next season, so that they can put out a lot more growth to then also create more production for you for the next season. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to bring you along with this process, just kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. If you've ever run into this situation before, you know, you get to the next season and all of a sudden you don't have a lot of fruit and you go, well, that's weird. I don't understand why that happened. Well, a lot of time it has to do with dormancy, has to do with the amount of chill hours that you're receiving. And those plants are not going to begin bringing on those chill hours if they're not in dormancy. So hopefully this helps you guys. If you enjoy the video, if you would, go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and share the video. Guys, if you have a question, or you've got some sort of a comment, or you've got some fruit trees at your place, guys, put a comment down in the comment section. I'll definitely answer. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, guys, please subscribe to the channel. We're going to put out a whole bunch more stuff about propagation and planting, and I just want to bring you guys along for this process of building the Markham Gardens. And anyway, love you guys, and I hope you have a good one. Talk to you later. Shalom under the dome. Peace.